On Spotlight, we have a Nigerian actor, Jaiyeoba, who highlights the struggles of Nigerian youths seeking greener pastures overseas in his latest project, The Edge.
So, babe, my mom wants me to bring you to her house for Christmas.
While many Nigerian youths remain bent on seeking greener pastures in Western countries, emerging actor Jaiyeoba acts out their desperation in his latest film, The Edge.
I'm driving a cab to save up some money.
Oh, and you can save money with a real job.
Driving a cab is a real job.
Jaiyeoba, who started his career back in 1999, plays Segun, a young Nigerian immigrant living in the United States of America, who struggles to stay in the country legally so as to continue settling debts owed his parents back home.
Hello? Hello? You want with him? He got a woman already.
He enlists the help of a cousin, but things fall apart when he falls in love with his cousin's wife.
The Edge is a story about a Nigerian guy who is trying to get his papers. And he went through all this trouble to get his papers. And he was trying to get married to an African-American girl. And the African-American girl was so excited to be in a relationship because she wanted to get married for love. But the minute she found out that the guy was not here for love, but was here for his papers, she turned into the African-American that we know about, that we refer to as a carter, that will now go crazy, that we say sometimes that they act like animal. But the truth of the matter is he actually drove her to that situation. The story also deals with friends and family telling their spouses or telling their wife to help someone to get their papers. Like in this story, my character had to go to his cousin when the African-American girl kicked him out. My character looked for his cousin, and my cousin told his fiancée to marry me for papers, and then it went south from there. Which happens a lot too, when you allow your spouse to do papers for someone, and your spouse gets connected to that person emotionally, and that was another issue that happened in a film, which is something that happens a lot. Are you okay?
Sorry, I was just wishing.
Wishing?
Never mind. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
Well, Dele is buying some furniture and I'm helping him. So he's supposed to be picking me up.
The Bayo Alawiye directed film also highlights issues of migration.
What inspired the story was the fact that I live in Chicago, and as a filmmaker, I try to see what's going on around me. I know a story about a lot of my friends who are trying to get their papers. I was fortunate enough to be born in the States, and I grew up in Nigeria. But going back to the States, I have a lot of friends that are cab drivers. And when I talk to them, I hear about people's story because they're always talking about what's going on, So I just wanted to tell that story from a perspective of, what really goes on, like someone that lives in Chicago, It would have been a different story if, I'm a filmmaker that lives in Nigeria and then I went to the US to make a film. No, I actually live in Chicago, and, it's a story that you see in church. It's a story that you see around you, and I just wanted to, I took a bit of a lot of people's story and I joined it together to make up the story.
There's something about the night. It's so calm.
Born in the United States of America, Jaiyeoba believes many youths make hasty decisions when contemplating a permanent move overseas.
Snap out of it.
I'm trying. But Bodu is my cousin.
And he's my fiance.
Well, my advice to people who are trying to come to the States or go travel abroad is you have to think carefully about what you're doing. Because sometimes when you look at the story of people who are coming to the States and what they have to do to get the papers, sometimes you're better off in Nigeria, because sometimes people have a good job. but maybe because of the situation of Nigeria, or people always say, oh, we don't know where Nigeria is going to. So everybody want to move their family to the US for a better life. But then they end up getting there and they're like, okay, maybe where I was coming from was better, but they cannot go back. So a lot of people end up getting stuck. So my advice to people is always do your research before you make any move, because moving to the US or moving to any country is a very, very big move. And once you make that move, sometimes you feel like you can go back. So my advice is, do your research before going anywhere, and, talk to a lot of people who are going through this situation now. Sometimes when you talk to people don't really want to tell you what they're going through because of the shame, around it, However, it's not an easy thing to do. And that's what I'm always advising people. Even me being in the US, a lot of my friends will call me, oh, I want to come there. What can I do? What can I do? And when I try to tell them, like, it might not be the best move, they always seems to be like, they look at me like I don't want to help them, And with this Trump administration now, things have changed a lot that we don't even see on the news. A lot of things are happening now. Like now they're actually going to people's houses. They're going to houses to raid people. They will knock on your door once they know you don't have your papers, So a lot of things are happening now that we don't see on the news. And it's something you really, really, really need to think about before you make the move.
The Edge, which has already been released on YouTube, also stars veteran actress Rachel Oniga, Bumi Sawyer, Matthew Dada, Shabaza Hamid and Yemi Sholade.